This class is designed for increasing the mobility throughout the spine from top to bottom. If you're a human, you need this class. It doesn't matter what you do in life, this is essential. What you're gonna need are a few props, a foam roller. It doesn't have to be a long one. It can be those medium length ones. A weight if you are more advanced. Heavier the weight, obviously. You can start with 5 pounds, you can start with 2 pounds, that's okay too. You're gonna want a blanket that you can roll up and at least be as long as your spine, and you may or may not need a block later on in class for neck support. That's gonna be up to you, but grab one just in case. I'm Jade Hayes with Ethos, let's move. Start in all fours position. It's important when you're on all fours not to just sink into your wrist, so think about clawing the ground with your fingertips. Bend your elbows out to the side and then spin them back to where the point of the elbow faces the knees, and then push the floor away. As you do this, you want to try to activate the serratus right underneath the armpit, and that'll help to stabilize the shoulder. Tuck your toes underneath you, and we're not going to focus too much on how to activate our core. We're going to let the exhales do the work for us. So as you inhale, remember we want to breathe wide and deep. You want to try to feel your ribs expanding on that inhale, the lower back expanding, but not the belly. And then as you exhale, you're gonna blow through the mouth, like you're blowing through a small straw. And as you do that, you're gonna feel the lower abs engage. Focus and memorize that feeling, and we're gonna try to incorporate that sensation throughout this class. Take another deep inhale, try not to let the belly expand. As you exhale, blow until you feel like you have no more air left to blow, and then blow a little bit more. Hold that sensation. Don't let it go. As you tuck the toes, if they're not tucked already, you're gonna lift the knees and hover off the floor. Make sure we're not predominantly using the rectus abdominis, those 6-pack muscles in the front, to activate. You wanna pull your sternum forward to make sure we're not in that crunch position. Driving your sternum or your chest through the arms, continue pushing the floor away. Cover your knees, keep the sternum pulling forward, the shoulders pulling back, and keep those breaths, exhales in particularly, long and slightly forceful. You're gonna feel the core activate. We're gonna be here for about 30 seconds. If you need to take a break and put your knees down and then reactivate, that's okay too. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and relax. Keeping the core activated, you're gonna extend the right arm out to the right at a 45-degree angle and the left leg out to the left. Pay attention to your right outer knee. If you've rolled to the outside of the right knee, that means your hips are shifting and we're no longer level. If you notice that you're rolling to the outside of the right knee, your hips are no longer level. We're trying to find stability of the pelvis and neutrality in the spine. So go ahead and find that center point of the right knee, keep your focus there, and lift the left knee only as much as you can stay centered on the right knee. You might notice as we hold, your left elbow may start to bend or point outward. You might start to sink into the wrist. Remember those cues I gave you initially? Digging the fingertips into the floor, pushing the floor away, and spinning the point of the elbow backwards. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let's switch sides. Grounding through the fingertips, spinning the right point of the elbow back toward the right leg. Extend the left arm out to the left at a 45-degree angle, and then taking the right knee, bring it straight out to the right. Remember, only as high as your hips do not shift. Keep your focal point in the center of your left knee. Now, we're driving that left arm up, right leg out as much as you can. I want you to focus on the posterior oblique sling here. You're trying to squeeze that left scapula down and back to your active right glute. Holding there, 5 more seconds. And relax. So if you had a hard time finding neutral or holding that position, then I want you to do that again. We're gonna hold each side for 30 seconds. If you're ready to advance, we're gonna add movement, and that'll be 30 seconds as well. So take whatever variation you prefer. Go ahead and bring your right arm out to the right, left leg straight out to the left, and we're either gonna hold for 30 seconds or we're gonna add movement. If you're lifting and lowering, you're going to want to make sure that your spine is not moving at all. Use those exhales to engage the core more thoroughly to prevent any movement. 7 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Right hand plants down, spin the elbow to face the right knee, and start to lift. As we lift and lower, again, we're looking for no movement. Keep the weight centered into the left knee, and make sure the right elbow is spinning back to face the right leg. Think about using longer exhales to get a deeper core engagement. Last 10 seconds. And relax. Harder than it looks?
No, it's exactly as hard as it looks.
Sorry guys, my videographer is dying. Tuck the toes, elevate the knees, and extend the right leg. The modification for this is to keep the left knee down for the next 30 seconds. We're gonna make circles with that right leg. Again, trying to stay as still as possible. You can make your circles as big and as fast as you can maintain control. We're 15 seconds in, so go ahead and switch the circle to the other direction. Think about that sternum. Pull the chest through the arms. Try not to get overly round in your back. 5 seconds. Don't let your left knee lift too high. 3, 2, and relax. Switching sides. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, blow. Fire your abs, hover the knees, and extend the left leg. We've got 30 seconds here. Find a direction, make as big and as quick of a circle as you can stabilize. Remember, it's not how big the circle is, it's how still the rest of the body can be. Switch directions. Three, 2, and relax. Good. From here, we're gonna sink into a child's pose and use this position for breathing. I want you to bring your knees close together to where your belly rests on top of the thighs. From here, we're gonna use our thighs to block forward expansion of the belly. As you inhale, you're gonna breathe down, back, and sideways. We're gonna use this compressed child's pose position to focus on our breath and direct it where it needs to be for optimal spinal stability. So as you breathe, I want you to think about breathing wide and deep. You're breathing down into the pelvis, out into the sides, and into the upper back. Your thighs are blocking the forward movement of your belly, so I want you to use that to your advantage. As you inhale, feel how it's much harder for your belly to move forward. We're gonna use that to our advantage. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're blowing through that small straw. Try to get your abs to pull in tight, pulling your belly away from the thighs as much as you can. Now from this breath forward, we're gonna try to maintain that feeling and use our thighs to create and enhance more awareness. Breathing only as deep as you do not feel your belly expanding into your thighs, and then exhale as long as you possibly can. So our inhales are gonna be small and our exhales are gonna be very long and active. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Small inhales. As soon as you feel your belly move forward, you start the exhale again. Without the forward movement of the belly, you'll feel the ribs moving sideways. You'll feel your upper back expanding up toward the ceiling. And you'll feel that you can gain a deeper breath without losing your core stability. Beautiful. Now shifting forward, back into that quadruped position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're gonna round our spine as much as you can. Push the floor away, digging the fingertips in. Think about spreading the shoulder blades around the back, tucking the tailbone, using your abs, and pulling the ribs in. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, let's see if you can engage a little bit more. Lightly pulling back with the hands and forward with the knees, keeping your core active. We're gonna start to move through the spine 1 segment at a time. Lift the tailbone toward the back of the head, but keep pressing up between the shoulder blades. Dropping the hip bones, then the belly button, Now, as the ribs start to drop down, I want you to lose that downward descent and instead think about pulling your sternum forward. Tailbone's lifting to the back of the head, the bottom of the ribs. The bottom ribs are pulling to the wall in front of you, but we're still pushing the floor away. Now, middle of the shoulder blades draws forward. The area between the tops of the shoulder blades pulls forward. And then we finally look up. Now, as you look up here, you want to create as much extension. Make sure there's no pain. Hold that feeling. Continue to push the floor away. Pull the chest through the arms, and we're going to start at the tailbone. From the base of the spine, we're tucking, moving back into flexion. Use your lower abs to pull each vertebrae up. Hip bones up, belly button up. Pause here just for a moment. See if you can get a little bit more extension in the upper back, pulling the sternum forward toward the wall in front of you. Holding that feeling, pull the ribs in. Back of the heart moves up toward the ceiling. Keep your gaze forward. Finding full flexion. Now, as you drop the chin, think about pulling your hairline to the wall in front of you. Lengthening the back of the neck. We'll do one more round. Lift the tailbone to the back of the head. Don't lose flexion in the upper spine. Keep reaching the back up toward the ceiling. Hip bones drop. Belly button drops. Lower ribs start to drop, but we're pulling forward. Think about one piece of the spine at a time, moving through back to extension. Pulling the shoulders back. Driving the chest forward. Finally, the head looks up. Hold that extension feeling. Tucking the tailbone. Hip bones pull in. Belly button to the ceiling. Keep your core tight. Ribs pull in as we round all the way back through. Pushing the floor away. Find as much flexion as you can here. 3, 2, and relax. Make your way onto your back as we start to focus more on the lower spine and getting it to segment one vertebra at a time. Remember, the goal here is to create space and movement between each vertebra. Whenever we have certain segments of the spine that are stuck together, it'll create a hinge point above or below that segment where the spine does not move well. That stuckness is what we're trying to undo. So we're gonna start at the tailbone, and this requires a lot of lower ab function. You're gonna take that inhale, use the exhale to try to fire the lower core, the space right between the two hip bones. And as you exhale, you're gonna roll just the tailbone off the floor. You're gonna feel the sacrum pressing down a little bit more. And then roll the sacrum off. And then I want you to think literally one vertebra at a time as you move all the way up into a bridge. Now, as your lower spine is rounding up toward the ceiling, I want you to exhale the ribs down. So we're trying to narrow that gap between the lowest rib and the hip bones. Once you get to the top of that bridge, you're gonna slowly, starting around the mid spine, placing one vertebra down, and then the next, and then the next. And the entire time we're trying to accentuate how much we can pull the tailbone up toward the ceiling. You might start doing this and notice a section of your spine kind of clunking down all together. That's what we're trying to eliminate. Take your time. And if you feel like you want to spend more time in that place that is stuck, feel free to do so. You don't have to go all the way up and down through the bridge. You can stay where you need it most. Always listen to your body and focus on the places that need more attention. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, pull one knee into the chest, pressing hard through the opposite foot. You're going to tuck the tailbone and again, try to lift one vertebra at a time. To challenge yourself even more, extend the leg all the way up toward the ceiling. And we'll go through 3 reps on each side, or 6 total if both legs are down. Spine work is core work, so you want to make sure that you're using your core to gain more control over each segment in the spine. One more on this side if you're alternating. And switch. While you're doing this, you can place your hands wherever they're most comfortable. I find to create more awareness, you can actually place them on the body where you feel like you're having a hard time controlling. If you don't feel your lower abs, place your hands there. We have a lot of nerve endings in the hands. So placing our hands on our body is kind of like bringing our awareness and our brain to that space. Last one on this side. Good. Bringing that left foot down, go ahead and grab your foam roller, and we're gonna bring it to the mid-back. You wanna place the foam roller right to the center of the shoulder blades. Some of you may prefer a block underneath your head, especially if there's any neck pain or discomfort. You can use it or not, whatever you prefer. So making sure that you have the middle of the scapula on that foam roller. Take your hands behind the head, and I want you to see here, as I bring myself over the foam roller into a back bend, notice how my lower back arches as well. What we want to use this for is to bias the extension of the upper back. So I want you to keep in mind all that work we just did to tuck the tailbone, and we're going to reuse that here. You're exhaling, ribs down, tailbone tucks under, and then holding that feeling, go ahead and lean back as far as you can. Try not to create this seesaw effect, like as we bring the head down, the ribs flare up. Lower abs should be engaged lightly. We'll be here for about 45 seconds. Use your breath here. As you continue to keep the front of the core tight, try to breathe into the upper back, the sides of the ribs. And as you exhale, feel yourself softening, maybe allowing yourself to go a little bit deeper into extension. Now that we've opened up that range of motion, you do have an option to grab a weight, or you can do this weightless. Extend the weight up toward the ceiling, and we want to actively create extension. So as you exhale, you're going to pull the ribs down, tuck the tailbone under, and I want you to use your muscles of the upper back to pull yourself deeper into that back bend. Keeping the tongue pressed to the roof of the mouth to activate the deep cervical flexors, and then we're gonna sit up as much as you can. Notice the sitting up motion helps us pull the ribs in and reactivate the core. Hold that sensation as you try to drive yourself back into extension, not losing your abs. You can advance this by bringing that weight back and overhead as you go down, helping to further that range of motion. Exhale to come up, keep the core tight as you go all the way down. We've got 10 more. Last 3. and relax. Taking that weight, set it by your side, remove that foam roller, we'll use it again later. And flip over onto your belly. With your stomach down and your elbows underneath your shoulders, your hands straight ahead, we're gonna recreate that same feeling of extension in the spine. As you press into your hands, again, I don't want you sinking to the floor, just like we did in the beginning of class with our core work. Push the floor away, spread the shoulder blades apart. A lot of people get in the habit of squeezing their shoulder blades together instead of creating an actual thoracic extension. We want to look for a sensation in the actual muscles of the spine. So if you feel it on those superficial muscles of the upper back, you know you're not really accessing the deep spinal muscles that we want to hit here. Your cue is if your chest sinks to the floor. You know you're using your back muscles if that happens. Propping yourself up if you aren't already there. Press down into the hands, down into the elbows, and pull the hands back. We're tucking the chin and tucking the tailbone so that we're focusing on creating extension just in the upper back here. Keep pushing down, keep pulling back. We're gonna hold for 10 more seconds. Core is tight, glutes are tight, chin is tucked. 5, 4, 3, 2, use your fingertips for support. You're gonna elevate your elbows and try to use just your upper back muscles to hold you in this position. This may be really hard if you're just beginning, so feel free to skip this step until you're a little bit more advanced. If you do that and you feel your lower back working, I'd rather you stay here pulling for the remainder of this exercise. Go ahead and push down and pull back. Try to feel more sensation in your spine here. I want you to think about a string being tied to the middle of the sternum and it's pulling you forward toward the wall in front of you. Keep the tailbone tucking, lower abs active, chin is tucked as well. 3 seconds. Elbows lift. Try to use just the upper back to keep pulling you into that back bend, driving the sternum forward. Core is engaged. 3, 2, and relax. So now we're gonna drive this deeper into the nervous system and facilitate a better motor patterning. Now what's important is that you're not feeling your lower back do this job. So as soon as you feel your lower back start to take over, you've hit failure and the exercise is over for now. You can feel free to press pause, let your body rest for 10, 20, 30 seconds, and then restart. Going face down onto the floor, forehead down, hands are by your sides. Literally try to touch your fingertips to your toes. There's a very strong activation of scapular depression. Tuck the tailbone, activate the lower abs here, keep your glutes engaged and your chin tucked. Now, as you lift, it's okay to keep your hands on the floor. I want you to see if you can find and feel the same sensation that we felt in that prior exercise. So you're trying to lift up. Imagine your sternum pulling forward. Let your upper back do the work here. If you want to make this a little harder, go ahead and lift your hands and externally rotate. Thumbs are spinning out to the side and up to the ceiling, but don't overly squeeze your shoulder blades here. And again, if you notice your lower back is doing all the work, try to lift a little less in height and think about pulling your sternum forward more, or take a break and start again once those muscles have rested. Now it's important to do these in a high rep range, so we're aiming for 30. We've got 15 left. Remember to breathe. That's important. Chin is tucked. Tailbone is tucked. Core is still tight. You're going to hear me repeating that a lot in all of the classes I teach, really, because the core stability is what ensures that we're actually training the joint that we're focusing on. If your core is loose, your spine is not stable, and the chances of compensation go up tremendously. You've got to have stability before you can improve mobility. Now we're going to do a postural hold. You're going to hate me for the next 1 minute and 30 seconds, but it's okay because it's going to make you better. I want you to reach down, fingertips toward the heels. Now we're going to lift the sternum like we did previously, but this time you really try to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Imagine there's a pencil between the shoulder blades and we're trying to hold it in place. Lightly tuck the chin and lift through the crown of the head. And we hold here, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Feet are on the floor, tailbone is tucked. Repeat these cues a few times throughout this hold because most likely something's gonna slip. Notice if one scapula is closer to the spine than the other. Oftentimes we do have a weak side, so focus on that side that might be dropping. Pick it up a little bit more. Pull the shoulders out of the ears. Use your lower core. See if you can externally rotate the arms a little bit more, spinning palms out, thumbs up to the ceiling. You might start to shake here. It's a good thing. It means your brain's creating change.
That means you start to cry.
If you cry, you can grab a tissue when you're done. If you're a desk worker, you need this even more. I challenge you to do this at least once a day, 1 minute and 30 seconds. We're almost there. Maybe you can get a little bit higher. Maybe you can squeeze a little bit more. Don't use those upper traps. Tuck the chin, lengthen through the crown of the head. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. So remember that spinal flexion is just as important as spinal extension. The ultimate goal is movement variety. We want to be able to move well in all of our ranges. Grab your foam roller again, and we're going to alternate from thoracic flexion to thoracic extension. So when you pull the foam roller back, you're still tucking the tailbone and pulling the back of the heart to the wall behind you. And as you roll through the foam roller, keep the tuck of the tailbone. Don't just lose it and collapse forward. And let yourself pull your upper back into spinal extension. Pressing into the foam roller, let your chest sink through the arms, but don't completely collapse. Keep a little bit of pressure in the hands and imagine going there actively, pulling your chest through the arms, aiming for the foam roller. Think about the back of the heart pulling to the wall behind you, exhaling, ribs in, keeping the lower abs active. And as you move back through extension, keeping the core engaged, pull the sternum forward. Keep a little bit of pressure of the hands into the foam roller. You want to look for a stretch in the upper back as we move into flexion, and then more activation in the upper back as we actively pull into extension. Last 3. As you roll back, keep reaching the fingertips forward. Remember to keep the chin tucked. You're lengthening through the crown of the head. One more. Full flexion. Core is engaged. Back of the heart's pulling back. Fingertips are reaching forward. Rolling back into active extension. This time we're going to create a little bit more strength in this position. Go ahead and press down into your hands, and I want you to imagine we're curling the spine back into flexion, but you're not going to actually be able to move very much at all. Keeping your abs tight. We've got 5 seconds here. Use this push down with the hands to create more tension through the body. Use your exhale to fire your deeper abs. A little bit harder and hold that sensation. Now think about pulling your sternum forward, pulling the crown of the head forward even more. Keep the tuck of the chin. Turn both thumbs up toward the ceiling, and I want you to imagine you could lift both arms off of the foam roller. We're gonna hold for 10, 9, crown of the head reaches forward. You should feel that back bend sensation in the mid back, upper back. 3, keep trying to elevate the hands. 2, and relax. Roll that foam roller out of the way, and you're gonna come into a half kneeling position. Put your right knee down and your left foot on the ground. Now cross your arms over your chest and touch your hands to your shoulders. As you round through the upper back, we wanna make sure it's solely through the upper spine. So when you take that first position of rounding, make sure you're not tucking the tailbone. Imagine lifting the tailbone to the back of the head just slightly as you pull the back of the heart up toward the ceiling, keeping your lower abs engaged. Take a deep inhale here. See if you can send more breath to expand the upper back. Now as you exhale, we're gonna side bend to the left. We're gonna spend 1 breath cycle in each position, breathing into that right side. Feel the right ribs expand. As you exhale, see if you can side bend and engage your left abs even more. Rotate to the left, taking a breath in. Feeling the back of the ribs expand, and as you exhale, see if you can rotate a little bit more to the left. Now pull that left shoulder into the left back pocket. Take a breath in, expanding more of the front right ribs. Exhale, see if you can use the left back muscles to pull a little bit deeper into extension. Now coming through a full circle, you're gonna try to lift the heart up toward the ceiling, and this time we counterbalance by trying to tuck the tailbone. The string is pulling the heart straight up toward the ceiling. Inhaling here, but try not to let the ribs flare forward or the belly expand. Exhale, tuck the tailbone a little bit more. See if you can get a deeper back bend coming from the upper back. Drop that right shoulder into the right back pocket. Take that inhale. Exhale, see if you can pull deeper into the range. Now we rotate to the right. Deep breath in, feeling the back left ribs expand. Exhale, see if you can find a little bit more rotation. Don't forget about the legs, they're lightly pulling together. Side bend to the right, breathing into the left ribs. Exhale, activate right abs a little bit more. And round forward. We're gonna do 1 more all the way through. This time we're gonna skip that breath hold, just try to find those sensations. Hands are across the shoulders, lower back stays in neutral. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, we'll round. Tailbone lifts to the back of the head. Side bend to the right. Rotate to the right. Pull that right shoulder into the right back pocket. Keep your core tight. Drive the sternum up toward the ceiling as we attempt to tuck the tailbone. Moving all the way through spinal extension. Dropping the left shoulder into the left back pocket. Keep your core engaged. Rotate to the left, strong engagement. Side bend to the left. And round forward. Tailbone to the back of the head. Go ahead and come back up, stacking 1 vertebrae at a time. Now take your blanket and we're gonna roll it up long ways and place it along the spine. Bring the back of the sacrum right to the edge of the blanket and lie down, letting the hands drape on either side. Focus on your breath here and just start to notice the sensations you feel through your body. Notice if you feel more alive in the spine, more tingling, more awareness. This class is great for anyone who wants to create more awareness and movement through their full range of motion all along the spine from top to bottom. Remember that it's important that our spine stays mobile. Our nervous system travels through the spine, and the more rigidity our spine has, the less flow and communication our nervous system has through the rest of the body. That includes not just the muscles, but the organs as well. Moving your spine and focusing on that mobility helps to increase vitality in all areas of life. Take as much time as you want here to focus on your breath. letting your nervous system downregulate and adapt to all of these changes.